Okay, so here we are again with another video. I know it's been kind of a while. Sorry about that. Was having some technical difficulties and then just was working on the book instead. Uh, and I try to do these for the one-offs instead. Anyway, here we are. This is an interesting pose for Amelia. Probably not one that I've drawn her in before. Um, it's a unique situation. I always make her head too small the first time. Just always. Sorry about the vertical video. That was the way that my camera was cooperating today, so there you have it. That last little band around her neck for me makes it just a little bit scary. Um, nothing bad is actually happening in this. Spoiler alert, but yeah, that last little bit is like, you are possibly doing more harm than intended. But she's okay. Don't worry. I'm actually thinking of doing this as a full comic. Well, maybe not full, but maybe like a one-page thing, um, where she meets this character and uh, the character has heard some things about what she's done and people she's helped, and so wraps her up in this big, kind of scary hug. So put in base layer for the background. I am not using my lovely mop for this because I may have ruined it. It was in my bag with my masking fluid and my masking fluid leaked and went all over my brush. I'm very, very sad about that. The internet said to use Vaseline to get it out, and I sure did get it out, but I can't get the Vaseline out of the brush now. I've washed it with dish soap several times now. I will keep trying because I really like that brush and I don't want to pay for another one. But till then, I've got my kind of old brush. I really like this sort of mottled texture for the backgrounds, and I'm still really learning how to do it correctly. I do like how this one came out, but I feel like I'm definitely like still faking it. I have not made it yet. Probably could have used the brush I was just using for this. So the thing about that brush is that while it is wider, it's also it's really loose. It kind of flops around, and you don't get a whole lot of control over it. It also loses bristles like crazy, which is really irritating. So I have that whole set of those brushes, and I try not to use them at all. They're basically around for when I need something that I can trash, like my masking fluid brush is one of those. But yeah, not too bad in the modeling. Pow! Unmasked and inked. Yeah, so I decided to make them the same color as the base for the background, which I think gives it a nice, like, it feels like they're in the background, like they're not a prominent feature until they come into contact with Amelia, which I think is good. I didn't mention I also decided to bring down the stems all the way to the bottom of the circle. I decided that like the other ones didn't look like they were long enough to wrap around her. Plus, she seems to be freaking out about being like maybe a little higher than uh, it would look if they were ended there. Plus, I didn't have to do a like ground, and that's just too many things. Now this, I actually forgot to do the little bit around her neck that I was so enamored with before. I did go back and fix it, but not in this video. So that's fun. It's kind of nice doing these like long spindly things because they're just very like simple. And and because they're like the same color as the background, I don't really have to worry too much about going over. In fact, some places I purposefully went over it because there were spots that the masking fluid had covered that I didn't mean to cover, things like that. I haven't decided yet for the full comic if this guy only has one eye or if all of the little nubs are eyes. I'm not sure. I kind of like the one, I don't know. Having all of them be eyes seems like a little much, and yeah. So I decided to give them a little bit of extra color. So it was just a lot of green. I think a lot of plants have that sort of like tinge of red, and usually that means they're dangerous, which again, I kind of like. I like having just a little bit of danger from now and then for her. Keeps her on her toes. I am doing so good at doing, like, actually going left to right on these things. I am getting better. And I thought this transition from the green to the red actually it turned out pretty good. I was decided to do this, what I'm doing now, because I felt the transitions were a little harsh. So, but I really like how they came out. Just fill that in with a little more green, and ta-da! Have a nice little tinge of red without it being overwhelming. And there you have it. Finished product, mostly. Thanks for watching.